influencer marketing has become a game changer for e-commerce brands trying to sell products on the internet. And thanks to modern social media platforms like TikTok, Instagram, and even YouTube, there's so many different influencers out there to choose from, especially if you're an online entrepreneur who's looking to sell products for their e-commerce store and looking for people to represent it. In today's video, we're going to be going over everything you need to know on how to find the best possible influencer to represent not only your brand, but help you sell more products on a daily basis. We'll be covering everything you need to know, from how to do outreach to them, how to send them example products, and how to get amazing reviews from them, and how to have them post the content so that way it drives traffic to your website. Make sure you watch to the very end of this video because I'm going to be giving away all my tips and tricks that I've used to actually personally reach out to influencers myself and get them on board with brand deals, and how to actually get working with them for my e-commerce brand. So the first thing we need to start with is actually figuring out why we want to do influencer marketing in the first place. Many of you probably say, well, they have massive audiences that we can tap into and start to actually get real interested clients potentially at the snap of our fingers. The only thing is, what you're not considering is the fact that if we even go further with that, we can find people that are literally in the perfect dream niche that we're already operating in and fulfill that role quite nicely. The way we could do this is that, let's say we have a e-commerce store that's dedicated to selling running shoes. If we're selling running shoes, the main influencer category that we would want to target is fitness influencers. And if we want to go even further, we can dig down to fitness running marathon influencers, and so on and so forth. The whole point of this is that you can get super detailed on the exact type of person that you're looking for and the exact type of audience that you want to tap into for your customer base. Most of these influencers have highly engaged, highly respected audiences that take everything that the influencer says as a very strong indication of something that they should do as well. That's the whole point of the name influencer. They're basically influencing a group of people to do something similar to them or something that they believe is correct or just. And in this instance, if they're a running influencer, one of the main things that they're going to be talking about, one of the main things that their content is about, and one of the main things that their audience cares about is running, which of course perfectly ties into a running shoe e-commerce brand that's trying to sell more running shoes on a consistent basis. Some of the best customers are people that are already watching content on the internet in the first place. And if you already have a brand established, but people don't really care about your brand, you just go find people and borrow some of the brand equity that these other influencers already have in the first place. Now, one of the main ways that we can go about actually partnering with influencers in the first place is by doing outreach. This can be done in a variety of different ways, and there's a ton of right ways to do it and wrong ways to do it. We'll start with probably the worst way to do outreach so that way you guys don't implement this, and that's basically reaching out to a potential influencer you want to work with, offering them some kind of sponsorship deal, and then not paying them anything or not giving them anything in return. The truth is, when you're working with influencers, they need to get paid too. This is their job after all, and they are making content and posting it every day to make money. Because of this, when they work with brands, it's typically because the brand is paying them something or giving them some kind of affiliate commission on every sale that they're making. The key here is to find influencers that aren't obviously too big, but also not too small. The bigger the influencer, the bigger the price tag associated with them promoting your product. So it's important to find micro to medium-sized influencers who have anywhere between 50 to 100,000 followers, subscribers, or any kind of metric like that, which will tell you ultimately whether or not they'll actually sell products in the first place. Plus, it'll give you an idea of how much you're going to have to charge them in the first place as well. Also, one of the key metrics you want to pay attention to on an influencer's profile before you reach out to them is to actually figure out what their engagement ratio is. If they don't have an audience that isn't really engaging with their content, it's very likely that even if they do a brand deal with you, they may not resonate properly with the audience, and the audience may not end up buying from those specific deals that they do with you. One of the best ways to actually figure out a influencer's engagement ratio is to either straight up ask them what it is, or you could even look at their profile and see how many comments and likes each post is getting compared to the amount of views that it's getting. This will give you a clear idea of which influencers you'll want to work with and which ones you'll probably want to stay away from. Also, a really good recommendation here to keep in mind is that when you're working with influencers, there's two main ways to actually go about doing that. The first way is through an affiliate program. This is more of a passive system of allowing an influencer to promote your product in really any way or at any time, while giving them a specific percentage kickback on each sale that you make that's driven from their link that you provide them. Affiliate marketing is an incredibly powerful tool in the e-commerce space, and especially with clothing brands or any kind of products sold on the internet. Basically, these influencers will make posts, make content, and they will provide call to actions where they will tell people, hey, if you're interested in what kind of running shoe I have, or hey, if you're interested in the kind of supplements I use, go check out the link in my bio. That link will then track the amount of buyers and users that actually purchase from that website, and then you pay them a kickback commission from the amount of sales that they generate. That's more the passive way of doing this, but probably one of the better ways and more consistent ways of doing it is to provide a lump sum payment up front for a couple of ad integrations. What this basically means is that you have a lot more control on the type of ads in the ad script that you want to give them to read off inside of their videos or inside of their content. One of the most popular examples of this is when you watch a podcast do a ad read, where they're basically reading off a pre-written script by the manufacturer or the e-commerce brand, and that pre-written script drives users into the link in their bio to actually get started with whatever it is they're selling in the first place. This gives you just a lot more control over the types of ads that the influencer is creating, plus it gives you a lot more control over the type of audience that's coming into your e-commerce site and actually purchasing from you in the first place. It's very important though that you're offering them a decent amount to do this, because you are basically renting out time and obviously actual content pieces themselves on their channel and on their account. Any influencer who knows what they're doing knows that that's worth quite a bit of money, because other brands potentially could be there, or they could be there selling their own thing. So it's important to fairly compensate these influencers on what they're actually giving you, which is basically, of course, free advertising to a engaged audience. As long as you do all of this right, it should be pretty easy to find people out there who are willing to represent your brand. You simply just have to look around at some niches, depending on the niche that you're selling your product or service in, and find people that are related to that niche in the first place. It's important to look for influencers with hyper engaged audiences, as well as influencers who will actually end up using your product in the video and actually making a good advertisement for it. Make sure that you tell them to represent your brand in a good, wholesome way that gets people to actually want to buy from your brand and not stay away from it. Ideally, you could scale your affiliate empire to hundreds of thousands of people all across the world who are representing your products or your service for your e-commerce site. With those more specific ad reads that we talked about, where you give the influencer a lump sum, those are going to be a little bit smaller in the overall scale of things. Because of this, it's important to manage your overall risk tolerance when it comes to how much money you're spending on influencer advertising, and always be aware of the returns that you're generating from that in the first place. If you guys have any more questions about influencer marketing, make sure to comment down below and I'll try to answer any of them as fast as I can. If you guys want to get started with some of our favorite e-commerce tools, make sure to check out all the links down in the description so you can get started with the best deals and discounts available. Also remember, those are affiliate links and we do earn a small commission from each of those, so thank you in advance for your support for this channel. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe so you never miss any of our new videos that we post. Other than that though, that's pretty much all I have for you guys today. I'll see you guys in a future video.